Hey guys, welcome to another interview. This time we're talking to Eric behind Slaughter Project. Thank you so much for hopping on here. We also got Craig Evans, better known as Pops, the father of Airsoft. Um, I
Thanks
mean,
for having me, guys.
absolutely. I think something to just really cover on this. We've been talking about the sponsorships behind this for this series, the HTK Winter series. It really has not been possible without the sponsorship that you and the other sponsors have put behind this. So we just want to say thank you first off for helping putting this series together. I don't know if there's anything you care to say a little bit about that before we really dive into this interview.
No, man, I just like I've mentioned to Pops in the past, if there's any way I can help, if there's anything I can do, being present or not present, I just, I want to make sure that the community knows that they are also supported by me the way that they support me. So,
Well, I mean, talking about specifically supporting those who give back, can you tell us a little bit about the Slaughter Project? Maybe some level of origin behind that, or maybe the meaning behind the Slaughter Project?
absolutely. So originally it was a way for PNW Punk to kind of put something different out in the patch market, and it was originally a an homage to where I'm from. PNW Punk was meant to put my region of the Pacific Northwest on the map, and Slaughter is what my hometown county was called before it was called what it is now. So it used to be called Slaughter County, and Slaughter was that's where it came from. Was so PNW Punk was to put the region, and Slaughter was to put my hometown. And after a while, which started in 2017, and then 2020 is kind of when things started blowing up. And uh, and after that, I I specifically didn't want to put my input in as to what I thought it meant. I wanted the community to bring life to that, so that way they they have more ownership of what it means, that it speaks to them genuinely. And my purpose at that point was to kind of put that to an ethos that kind of breeds, just, you know, preservation of accountability, apex of being. And what that means is like when you're doing something that you love to the point that everything else goes away, like you are killing it. You are decimating what it is that you enjoy doing, and Slaughter is there to facilitate that peak of what that means.
I love that. That is awesome. And I mean, you talked about it being something special to each individual person, and it's like you're not cool in airsoft if you don't have a slaughter patch. It's like, I mean, they're the collectibles of airsoft. I mean, everywhere I've
Yeah.
gone, I've always seen a slaughter patch, which is like super cool that you've been able to be ingrained into the community in such a manner. Um, I guess I'll ask based off of that. I mean, what is it like knowing that you've created something that's, a fit, to some level has become the collector's brand of a sport?
It's it. I'll tell you what, man. I as somebody who tries to check his ego at every corner,
It's
people.
hard.
I no. It well. It can be hard, but at the same time, I never take them for granted. I assume that every drop is the last because you just never know. Trends come and trends go, and
Yeah.
so far, I feel like this one has really stuck and cemented itself into the culture. And I feel as long as that I uphold myself to my standards, and that those can't, then I feel like it will live on. And um, to me, when it comes to like aftermarket prices, it's very flattering. It's wild to me that people pay what they pay, and they, how what it means to them. And I don't want to have any part of that because that's what's special to them. And I can't, like, I don't want to control that. And so I just I just try to do right by my community. I try to do right by any problems, and just encourage everyone to follow what they want to do, whether that be releasing their own patches, whatever it is that they want to do, I want to make sure that they know that, like, because when I started doing this, there was no blueprint, there was no anything. So
An open
it
sandbox.
is very. What's that?
Just an open sandbox.
Yeah, man. It's just, and you kind of see what works. And the great thing about airsoft too is that, like Pops can attest, man, this is a huge, yes, it's a very niche sport and
Mhm.
hobby or whatever you choose to call it, but it is very eclectic in the type of demographic. There's not just one demographic. You got older, you got younger, you got women, men. It doesn't matter, man. Everybody's out here playing. So I think it touches base to a lot of different people's need of belonging, and I'm happy to facilitate that.
So Pops, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I just think it's amazing. I mean, I think the first time I got to meet you was maybe 2 or 3 years ago down in Atlanta,
Hmm.
and just the passion that you brought to. It was one of my first tournaments, and we weren't even. I don't think we were with Elite at the time. We might have been with another team, and I got to meet you for the first time, and dude, I was a nobody. Like to
Nope.
hear your name in the sport and to see what you've done so quickly and the passion that you bring, even when you spoke or screamed on the tank or whatever they had out front there, man, that was
Yeah,
amazing, right? Like
you
um
know, to anybody who wasn't there for that, like everybody who's been to a giveaway when it comes to expos and anniversary events, man, Milsim, they all do it. They'll throw out patches, they'll throw out hats and stuff, and you watch these kids like it looks like a mosh pit.
it
And in
is.
it, like when I got up on stage, man, I was just like, you know what? Let's tap into that. And I got off the stage, and because like the way they do it is they have they have a truck and everyone talks off the truck like it's a stage. I hopped off, I got down in the crowd with the microphone, and we like circle pitted that thing, and everybody was like, I was screaming to them, they would scream back to me, and it
It was
was it was man, it gave me goosebumps, man. It gives me goosebumps now, man. That's cool.
I mean, it
It
is
was a good.
cool. It was a game changer. Like every other tournament that we had seen or watched or played in, it was just like, all right, it's our turn. Let's get up. Nobody really did anything cool, but between you and Steve and what you guys brought to the table for that weekend, like I hadn't seen that in the sport. And man, it was a game changer. Like I was like, dude, this is freaking cool as hell. Like this is a real festival. So um,
Yeah.
I wanna provide that. Maybe on Friday night of the championship, right? Like we have all of our sponsors coming together. And we're having brief meetings with everybody to prep for this to like do a big finale. I've put a lot of time into this whole series and money, and
Hmm.
just like you, I want to change the game. I want to make it better. I want to put my stamp on it or whatever. But the sport is cool, man. I mean, it's a freaking weird, cool sport. And just
I
just to
agree.
have you support what I'm doing, and being such a I know you check your ego, but just such a pillar for the community, man. It was an honor to have you on our sponsorship list, and you're designing some things that we're going to release, and a lot of crazy excitement to be a part of the HTK Winter Series, but to also just go, I got to meet you, we got to hang out, and we got to collab and make some really cool shit. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
No, anytime that a series or anybody wants to have me involved, um, I would rather be asked to be involved than ask how to be involved because I really try not to interject where I may not be wanted. Not to
Yeah.
say that you know what I mean, but it's an imposing feeling where you just kind of like you want to make sure that who you are talking with just really feels as strongly as you do.
Yeah.
So like when we talked about it, it was an obvious yes. I was like, absolutely, man. If you want me involved and you want me there, then how can I be of service to your community? So
Yeah. That's cool. Cool. It's an honor. So thank you again for sure.
thank you.
So, I mean, we've talked about how you guys met up, and then we've talked a little bit about your product line. Can you go maybe a bit more in depth on the things that you've offered to the community under the Slaughter Project? Because I know you do mostly patches, but there's been a few little bits and bobs here in between that you've also have done, correct?
Yeah. So usually, anytime I do any kind of collaborative project, I want it to bring something new and exciting to a community, and not just necessarily rebranding. In the past, um, we've done the snatch plates, the plates with airsoft gateway, the anodized aluminum snatch plates for the EPM or EPMS1 magazines. We've done those. We just did the collaboration with Cabby Custom for the CTM FUKU2 skeletonized AAPO1 uppers. That's a
Those
mouthful.
things look good, though.
They did, man, and shout out to Carnage for getting those painted up. Um, Good kid, and so we did those. I've done a lot of work with KWA, doing patches for their Fight Night series. But as for me, in the past, it was mostly just apparel and things like that. But when I do some of these hard good items, it really is just testing the water to see what my customer base wants, and what is going to get them excited, and what kind of new products can we deliver from there. And there, I've got quite a few different entities down the road that want to work together. Um, some big, actually some big names. I'm really surprised that they were like, oh, that sounds great, we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm like,
Hey,
okay.
that's great, man. I'm excited to see
Okay.
what these come to be for you.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see the fruits of your passion just unfold. Um,
Yeah. And I want to start delivering products. Like I would like to, I really would like to come out with like aluminum hard goods, like slides, or come out with some. I mean, it's just those are costly expenses, and but in time, those things will be uh, some ticket items that I'm really excited about. So,
well, I imagine like
but
your
like I said, in
patches,
time.
you want to do things in a quality manner, not just rush stuff out there.
Right, and I've had a couple offers to like, hey, let's repaint or redo this item, and I'm like, I like that, I appreciate that. However, I really feel like if we're gonna do something, it would behoove us to really take our time, do it right, and when it comes out, it'll really have the impact that we want. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And Pops, can you correct me? At the last event, you were talking about some patches in the works for this series, correct? Is that something you guys got going on, or what? What do we?
Yeah. So um, Eric and I have been talking for a few months now, and just to let everyone know, and we're going to release this before the next HTK Winter Series meeting in March. So we will have an elite colorway, never be made again, super rare patches that will be raffling off a few of them. This is a team patch. But I want to put my stamp on this with
Mhm.
our colors. And there will be a few of these patches that you can only get at the field. And that, that's a big deal for me because I've put my heart, I put my soul into this tournament series. And, anybody who has shown up, the response has been, dude, this was amazing. Like from the VIP rooms to the build out we did all the way around, so I don't have to wear a mask. Bring your girlfriend, bring your wife, like bring your kids. Like this is a big deal. I think people We've only had, I think the max teams we've had is like 7, and that's okay with me. We don't have to have 30 teams. I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
Those 7 teams are getting the best experience that they've ever had
I've
at
heard
an airsoft
good
event.
things. I've heard nothing but incredible things about the facility, the amenities, the hospitality, and just how overall well received. And we all know how airsofters are. They can be very fickle. They can be very
Yeah.
opinionated. You post something online and that's it. But like I've heard nothing but good things about not only the event series but the what's been done to HDK modified to facilitate these types of these events. And man, again, top notch, man. I've heard. I'm over the moon for you guys and the community. To
Yeah.
have a place like that.
I think
Appreciate that. So yeah, to wrap up and kind of finish the answer is, um, yes, next month for March we will have an elite only colorway that we will have a few of those to be able to raffle off, and then for the championship, if you've not gone to any of the other series,
shame on
bring
you.
your butts there.
Mhm.
So here's the hook, line, and sinker. Eric is finalizing the colors, and we will have exclusive HTK Winter Series patches at the finale in April.
Yep.
So
Not available on the website, not available anywhere else. You
yeah,
have to be there, you have to be in attendance. Like it's the only way you can get in there. So if you see them online afterwards, it's because one of them is like, you know what, I'm trying to make some money on this.
yeah, yeah. But the important thing here is the exclusivity. Like
Mhm.
I wanted to put the sponsors who took a chance on me describing what we were going to try and pull off in 4 months,
Mhm.
and show them what we're going to do. And this is just another just amazing way that we're able to do something for the community. We've had custom cups. When you walk in the door and your
Mhm.
team signs up, you get a custom cup. Those are metal cups. They're laser engraved. They're freaking awesome. We're coming out with 2 very exclusive patches just for this. You want to talk about people going crazy? There's only 33 elite patches in the world, the color. There's going to be probably only 50 of HTK patches that we're going to release, and that's only at the event. So, and there it is. So,
Oh, buddy.
yeah. So,
To say what you've done in 4 months, also, when the last time I saw you was at the Evic battle, like in Vegas,
yeah.
and the way that you took over to get the bunkers set up the way you did, the reffing and everything, I just went up to you. I was like, "Hey man, what can I do to help you out?" And you go, stand here, watch here to here, and I'm like, done. Like, and it was the how you take control of a situation and make it work and cohesive was very impressive. It stood out in my mind. So when I heard that you were doing this event series in the short amount of time that you were and what was done to HTK, I'm not surprised at all. The amount of stuff that has been done and how fast you move, man, it's like blew my mind. So
And like
Thank you.
the
Thank
stuff
you.
yeah.
behind the scenes too, because I was here with him for some of these work days, and their guys
Mhm.
just do not stop. And I'm like, I'm like
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
half these guys is it? Well, maybe not anymore. That I can't say that anymore. But they just, I mean, they work from sunrise to sundown, and you're just beat, and they're just over there, just like working twice as fast as you, and they're just not even breaking a
Mhm.
sweat, man.
Yeah. You guys should see what we do every day, like the stuff we're really good at. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's a sign of a true professional. Is that when everybody else is there to help is tired, those guys are still going. It's just like it's a different mindset. It just it. I mean it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I got two more
No, I mean,
things.
it means the world to me. I mean, this has been, Jason opened up his house to me, man. Like, and I mean, his house, his field. Like he said, make it how you want. Don't ask. You know what I expect, and it's quite funny because all the little details that I focused on, Jason would always come up, and this might be a PG program, but he would say, "You're an asshole, man. Like you're an asshole," and he'd laugh. He's like, the cedar around, like the carpeting of the walls, the black paint around the plexi, like all the tiny details when you see it on the live that we produce. You see it on the funny videos that we just put up. I mean, all the stuff that we produce. You see all the little things, and he's like, "Do you just don't care what anybody says? You just do it better than everybody." I'm like, well, I have an issue like every day because I get to remodel people's homes, and most of my response is like, just show me a photo, and then I'll just make it better than your photo.
Yeah.
So,
like,
it's
it's under promise, over deliver.
yeah. So I want people to be happy, and I can honestly walk in that facility, and go up the steps, not even having a mask on, and just be like, this is pretty friggin' cool what we pulled off, man.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Well, Eric, I have two more things for you. First thing is, this is kind of a oddball throw out there. We're halfway through the season. Marshmallow Hunters, they're top dogs right now in the series. But right behind them, we have the Slaughter Gang, and I wanted to ask, what's your relations with Slaughter Gang? Because like Slaughter Project, Slaughter Gang, you guys got like similar font styles, and like, I mean, surely there's some sort of connection there, is there not?
We not in an official capacity. Nothing I do in like I don't do official sponsorships. I don't do any like team. Honestly, a vault, like, so when you're saying like it's you can't buy them anywhere, or if they're like given, these are I call them vaulted colorways, and like a bank vault, and that is as close to a sponsorship as I can give, because I feel sometimes sponsorships can take some of the enjoyment of the reason you got into it away. It turns into a different thing. Not for everybody, but for some. But when it comes to Slaughter Gang, I met those guys at the same time I met you in Georgia, and amazing guys. I have had people DM me who are not affiliated with the team. Oh, my kid is a pub player, and those guys were helping him out, and they have amazing character. They do pretty well in the competitive scene, and when I met them, they were just on board. They were on board. They literally would stand outside my booth and model the clothing on their back for a half an hour to an hour. I mean, these kids are like, so anytime that they come out with anything, they always, I mean, they'll run it by me, and we'll talk about different things to kind of make sure that they have their branding. I maintain mine, but I still want them to know that they are supported and that they are, forever in the Slaughter family. And they know that. I've talked to them extensively. They have their own team patches, the same way Elite will have theirs. And no, they're in the fold, man.
That's awesome.
Good kids.
I was
really
like,
good kids.
I assumed there was some sort of connection there, but it's nice to know, that the community is like tight knit. So,
And I mean, like almost every single team, anytime you'll see my logo on their jerseys, they ask me if they could put my logo on their jersey in an unofficial capacity. They're just like, we want it on there, and at that point I'm like, absolutely, that's awesome. So yeah, so, and then Marshmallow Hunters, I saw them play at the Las Vegas event, and those guys are insane.
Yeah.
Either individually or as a team, and I know that they kind of have a rotating roster of sorts. And yeah, man, those guys have just been making waves. And I don't know them as well. I don't know their team as well. I know some of their members, but like, I'm not as familiar with them. And I think that they do their own thing, and they, but yeah, definitely, those guys are awesome.
Right on. I mean, we're halfway through the season. Half the season to go. So I'm excited to see what the second half of the season brings in. And as we round off this interview, I would like to just kind of open the floor per se. If there's any final statements you'd like to point out, I'll throw your or your Instagram here. I have it pulled up. But how
Mm.
can people follow you, follow what you do, get your patches? Because they're always like gone lickety split. But just kind of paint a scene for us in a few different things.
So I keep it pretty simple. I'm not on Facebook. So if you see me on Facebook, that's not me. I mean, well, I have a Facebook account, but Slaughter does not have a Facebook account. So like, if you see it on Facebook, it's fake. I don't really TikTok because it's just, I know you can grab a bigger audience, but I don't. It's not for me, And but really, Instagram Slaughter Project. Yeah, right there. That's my buddy Monty. There's Bacon. Um, and yeah, so Instagram Slaughter Project. The slaughterproject.com is the website, which is linked through the bio on Instagram. I put out all my notifications through Instagram. So that's the best place to keep up to date on any drops coming out. I've got 3 drops coming out simultaneously here very soon. I'm just waiting on product photos to come back, um, and as well as another apparel pre-order. So those are some things that are coming up in the immediate time, while I do have other plans for down the road. So quarter 2, 3, and 4.
Well, exciting,
Love it.
exciting stuff, man. And I just want to thank both of you guys as we finish this out. Thank you so much for, putting together all this work and supporting this series or making this series, however you want to look at it. Because, I mean, you really nurtured an opportunity for players to grow a community, but also maybe take that next step in the airsoft realm. We're trying to drive things towards that professional level, and now we're having these series where people got to travel out and there's that payout, and it kind of justifies, okay, I'm going across the country to compete in this tournament, but I'm coming back with, some money in my pocket. So
Yeah,
uh, I'm just excited to see
you
where.
guys you guys, I mean, like, I can't emphasize it enough, the amount of like work and everything that you guys have built for this. And you can really tell that you have the community at heart, especially when it comes to prizes won, money payouts, and not only that, but just the broadcasting. Your live streams are very professional, and it just, it really is turning into a benchmark. You kind of have to meet a certain benchmark in order to really engage and have that sense of legitimacy. And very well done. So
Cool, cool.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah. Thank you to Predator too. You're always keeping the glue here together, buddy.
just, helping in my part. Everybody helps in the way they can. So, but,
Yeah.
well, cool, cool. So exciting stuff. And we'll, see the next matches coming up shortly.
Yeah.
awesome. Looking
Thank you.
forward to it.